Hello there everybody and welcome to another music video makeup Monday. I'm your host here today, Miss Nikki, and today we're doing the part 2 to our Adele series. Last week we did the first 2 albums that she had, which were what, 1921? Yeah. And then this week we're doing 25 and we're doing 30. So I'm excited for this. There's going to be some fun little tidbits about them and just honestly just a whole bunch of greatness. Doing my research, I did cry a little bit because it's just like, wow, like she's just, wow. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's look is going to actually be super inspired by her performance that she recently did for Easy on Me at the NRJ Awards 2021. She has her hair pulled back, super cute, super chic. Yeah, she has her hair pulled back and then she has this really pretty strappy dress. I actually also love Send My Love to Your New Lover. And in that dress, she wears this adorable, like colorful, floral dress, and so I'm kind of doing a combination, and in both she does have an updo. Today's updo is inspired by this look. Both of the makeup looks are overall pretty similar, especially if you look at a lot of our music videos. They all look very similar in the way that her eyes are. She keeps it with the neutral. She's so classic. She's just So that's going to be today's look while we talk about Miss Adele. So if you're interested, please keep watching. And if you like a music video and movie makeup looks and you're interested in learning about music history and movie history, I suggest that you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First step is going to be priming our face. I'm going to be using my Mercier primer. So to start off this video, I actually wanted to start off a little bit different. And I wanted to kind of go a little bit back a little bit. So in last week's video, we talked about where she was born. We talked about all of that jazz, you know, how she was discovered essentially, things of that sort. But today I want to start off with talking about her inspirations. And I feel like her inspirations are some pretty magnificent people. And honestly, I totally see it and I totally get it. One of her biggest inspirations growing up was Spice Girls, Sinead O'Connor, Dusty Springfield, The Cranberries, Celine Dion, obviously, Ari Lennox, and Gabrielle. She's actually loved since she was like 5 years old. So a lot of big people, and given her voice and stuff, I'm like, yeah, of course. Duh. When she was 14 years old, she actually ended up finding out about Etta James, and after that she was like all about her and Ella Fitzgerald. She stumbled across both of their CDs at a record store and was just like encapsulated by the album artwork and was just like, oh my god, yes, who is this? I want to know who this is. I want to know how this person sounds. So she purchased the records. After she purchased the CDs, she said that when she was young, she would listen to Etta James like every single night for like an hour. Honestly, either one, kind of fluctuating between both, just because you were just like, oh my god, I have to study this. I have to study this voice and do my best to try and, you know, do what I can with it. She also gives credit to Amy Winehouse for making her basically pick up the guitar. Amy Winehouse's Frank came out and she saw that she played guitar, and so she just was inspired by her and decided to pick it up herself. And by picking up the guitar, she was able to create Daydreamer and Hometown Glory. So pretty 2 major songs that she was able to create with her inspiration. So I don't know, I wanted to start it off on a lighthearted note before we jump into 25. I feel like inspiration is a big thing, and sometimes when you know where the inspo came from or certain, you know, backstories of people's life, you're able to just get a better idea of the person. So let's jump in now to 25. Once again, if you have not seen my first video, I'll link it here for you guys. And basically we talk about the first 2 albums, all of that jazz. So this is a fast forward to now. It was said that on the eve of her 26th birthday, she posted on Twitter that, you know, a little post that in true Adele fashion got people thinking. And she said, bye 25, see you again later this year. Basically stating that, hey, there's an album coming, it's gonna be called 25 and it's coming out, you know what I'm saying? So people were going insane, freaking insane, of course. In August of that year, basically word started going out that the album was indeed coming. In an interview in that time frame, people kind of asked her like, hey, like, what's this album gonna be about? Can you tell us? And she said that basically her last album was kind of like a breakup album, and this one is kind of like a makeup kind of album, if that makes sense. Breakup and makeup kind of album. The lead single off of the album was a song that we have all heard. And if you haven't heard, I don't know where you live. And that lead single was Hello. The first time it was ever played was actually on the Nick Grimshaw Radio Breakfast Show on the BBC on in October, and on the 22nd was when the actual video itself released and the song. And I mean, you know, we know how that goes. Like, Hello was so major, so freaking major. It was said that when the video was released, it was viewed at an average of 1 million views an hour. 1 million views an hour. And it ended up being the fastest growing video on YouTube to get to 1 billion views, and it got to 1 billion views in 88 days. Now it has 2.9 billion views. So upon Hello's debut, it ended up obviously going #1. It went #1 in a lot of places. It went #1 in Australia, France, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland, Germany. It also debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 list at #1. And it became the very first song to get at least 1 million downloads in a week, selling at a record of 1.1 million records that week. So Hello did pretty well. Hello did pretty well. In November of that year, the album 25 was released, and as expected, the album itself also went #1, and it was actually the UK's fastest selling album with over 800 copies sold in the first week. It also debuted at #1 here in the US, and it sold at a record-breaking 3.8 million copies in its first week, the largest single sales week for an album since they started monitoring sales in 1991. At the 36th Annual Brit Awards, Adele came home with a bunch of wins. She ended up coming home with awards such as the British Female Solo Artist Award, British Album of the Year for 25, and British Single of the Year for Hello. And she ended up bringing home a grand total of 8 wins that night. And she ended up closing the ceremony with When We Were Young, which was her second single off of the album. Other singles from this album included Send My Love to Your New Lover and Water Under the Bridge. This album, personally, was one of my favorite, probably, Adele albums. I definitely love the other two. Please do not get me wrong. There's a lot of songs that I liked on them. But I did end up purchasing, I think, this album first on CD at the time, and then I purchased the other ones when I went to a thrift store and I saw them. But I would play this album specifically a lot. I mean, it was so beautiful. I don't know, her voice is just magnificent. So I personally was a huge fan. She went on to have a tour, of course, as most artists do. And in 2017, she decided to go on tour basically to Australia, New Zealand, all of that. And as soon as the tickets went on sale, they freaking sold out. She sold out an arena in 23 minutes, and that was for 2 shows. She sold them out in 23 minutes. And then they ended up adding a 3rd show, and in under 30 minutes also sold out for that show. She sold out all 8 shows that she had in Australia, and had one concert that was in Sydney that held 95,000 people and was the biggest single concert in Australian history. So yeah, I don't know, she's just Adele. I don't know how to explain it to you. And I think like I watched her interview that she recently just did with Oprah, and she was just saying like, yeah, my son hasn't seen me, you know, perform before. And I guess when she just released her latest song, Easy on Me, the son was watching YouTube to see like, oh yeah, like, you know, let's watch the video. And 150,000 people were waiting on YouTube. And the son was like, Mom, like, there's a lot of people. Like, that's a lot of people waiting. And he has no concept of who Adele is. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, wow. Like, I don't know, it's just so insane to just think, you know what I mean? Like, we all know Adele as Adele. And it's just adorable that her son doesn't really know, you know, the extent of who she is. And I love that she's been able to keep him out of the limelight. So I just thought that was super sweet. Like, selling out in 30 minutes, 95,000 seats. In 2016, Billboard went ahead and renamed her again Artist of the Year, which was like her second time or third time getting that title. And the album actually ended up doing like monumental sales for 2 consecutive years. In 2016, her video that she did with James Corden for the Carpool Karaoke also was like the most viewed video on YouTube for that year. At the 59th annual Grammys, she went ahead and also won all 5 of her Grammys that she was nominated for. Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Pop Solo Performance for Hello. So this album specifically did, again, numbers, you know, and it's crazy to think as well, you know, so many times people sit and say like, oh yeah, like, you know, first album is luck, you know, second album usually is a flop, and then third, fourth albums, you know, they're just whatever. And she has just proven that every single one she does, it's like people are here for it. She has a voice that I think so many people can understand. It's not just like a, oh, you're only for the young kids, you know, you listen to some musicians and you're like, you know, you're good, but like, I wouldn't listen to you, you know what I mean? But like the kids love you. Or, oh, you know, you're good, but old people love you. So she's got one of those just timeless voices that I think just help everybody, honestly, want to listen to her. So now we'll fast forward to 30. And 30 was supposed to actually, I think, come out in 2020, last year. But she decided to not only postpone it, but just had to be postponed sort of thing due to just resources, you know? It's not as easy to produce something when things are closed. So she ended up postponing it to this year. But she did end up having a SNL performance, or an SNL, what's it called? Where she hosted SNL, and her was the musical guest in late 2020. And I watched that one as well. I really liked how they did it. I thought she was pretty funny and pretty cute, and just, she's always so stylish. I just, I love it. And then in October of 2021, which was about, what, a month and a half, 2 months ago, people started seeing billboards up, and they were just like plain blank, you know, billboards that said 30, some said 30, some of them were just a certain color palette. People suspected it must be Adele, and it was. Her single for the album, Easy on Me, was released on October 15th, and it broke a lot of Amazon and Spotify records for just the amount of plays and streams that it got in a day. She, of course, went #1 in the UK, which made it her 3rd #1. The song did really well, went #1 for a nice period, and as of now, it's still her only single that she has that's out. And to this date on filming, this is still her only music video that she has created from the album. She hasn't released any yet, but I'm sure that there's more coming. She's definitely done a lot of TV performances and appearances. One of those performances was live, kind of like a live showcase with Oprah Winfrey. And I watched that special, and it was definitely really, really pretty. It definitely gave some insight to the album before the album had released, and I personally loved it. And basically since then, she's been on a roll just promoting it, doing her thing, doing different interviews, different live showcasing, with one of her most recent ones being from this NRJ performance that she did. I messed up a little bit on this eyeliner, went a little bit too much, but we ended up fixing it. Now I'm just going to darken underneath my eye. You can also use like a charcoal stick, what's it called? Liner stick, and darken out your waterline. I personally have never been able to do that, so we're just gonna go with this black and smoke it out. Now when it comes to the review of this album, since it did come out earlier this month, I've listened to it a few times. It's kind of like Donda to me, in a way, right? Like, either you love them or you hate them. I love Kanye and Kim, and so for me, listening to certain songs off Donda just kind of made me sad about the situation, and the same thing kind of holds true with this album. I feel like this album is a beautiful album, and I really, really, really love how she really kind of worked her vocals in different ways and definitely incorporated different sounds that I feel like were almost prominent in a certain scene back in the day, kind of like early 2000s, 2010s, but somehow just kind of made it new. In other ways as well, I also feel like she expanded her own like vocal capabilities, and you know, I don't know how to describe it. I really, really, really like the album. What songs was it? I was just listening to them earlier. I really like the song Cry Your Heart Out. I think her use of like the changing her voice was interesting. Oh My God is also really, really, really pretty, and I feel like when that beat hits, it's like I don't know, it's very like, it's different. It's not her usual type of creativity, like singing wise, it's not her like typical beats and stuff, so it is different. But there are songs that just make me so sad, I don't know, so it's one of those like, I like it, but I'm not letting myself get too in my head with it, because I know I'll probably be like, damn, this is sad. Not as sad as this, minus the few little hiccups when it comes to this. This basically will sum up the look. My final little step is adding a highlight. Unfortunately, I did not bring my highlight here, so I'm just adding some shadow. Not mad at it. And this basically sums up the look. It's a very classic look, a very simple look. When you're using dark colors, just be careful. Like my liner incident that I had here, and a little bit on this eye, it's a little bit annoying. But overall, like I said in the last video, a lot of her looks are very similar. She likes to use a lot of like browns, neutral tones in the crease, have a lighter lid itself, and then just a cute little liner. She doesn't like to go super extended out, is what I've noticed. It's a very small liner. I'm very extra, so I had a little bit of a difficulty with it, but I ended up kind of fixing it up. And in this particular look, especially with her like blue-green eyes, they just pop. Having that black tone underneath, and then of course with the liner, it just gave her an extra oomph. Beautiful. And the cover too, like it's just, all of it all together is just stunning. I'm super excited for this album. I'm super excited to see what's to come, whether it be tours, merch, whatever it might be. Adele is someone who is super, super, super talented, super beautiful, super stylish. Her photos from Ravy B have been bomb, and I'm just super excited to see what's up next. So if there's any other looks that you want to see recreated from Adele, whether it be music videos, red carpets, performances, etc., definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to create a few more looks from her and do maybe perhaps even a deeper dive on certain songs. I'm always into that, and I don't know, I love Adele. I'm so excited for her. But nonetheless, thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of this and enjoying my music video makeup Mondays. We will also be back with some movie makeup looks here soon. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you do want to see more from me. But without holding you guys up, enjoy the rest of y'all's week, and we'll see you guys next Monday with another music video makeup Monday look. See ya!